front end of this car is pretty much redefined. I really like the concept with the fenders we're using so far. The challenge was getting it to match this new Lamborghini style nose. The crazy thing is I think I got away with this. Putting the Lamborghini nose on here was a real hard mend with this contour, but by using these lenses, it really helped this flow right down into the steep angle of the nose. It's pretty cool, huh? Because you can see now, it's just another clay model representation. It's probably the headlights. If you see the lenses, then you'll understand. These plastic lenses, they really helped me create this symmetry because I have definite mounting points and angles to contour the fenders off of. So the reason I wanted to use these was because this curvature here, you can see it gives the fender a reason to flow right down into that steep angle from the other nose piece. You could go any direction with the headlight choice. You know, something super expensive, maybe even Lamborghini headlights. I went to the local scrapyard, looked around, and found something I could modify to work. The thing I saw firstly was this cool shape. I don't know how to describe it, but what I like most, it's got a really modern projector-style headlight bulb in there, and we could modify anything inside this housing. I don't know how Victor's gonna feel, but to me, look at this. This is a really unique looking lizard-faced car. It's pretty awesome. Needed some kind of symmetry, so I was able to make a template off of this grill opening, and that gave me the angle and the distance from this shape here. And then just flip it, and that's how you get the symmetry. I was using these as tools, but in the end, they look pretty darn awesome. Cool fact of these headlights is they are production car parts. They got some numbers on them. I'm sure we can get a duplicate set. It's a really unorthodox way to build a car. We've never done it like this before. I just hope we can tie it in as the end time comes, because it's pretty loose. There's two giant holes in the side of the car. Just don't look at that, don't look at the roof. The nose looks good. The big challenge in this whole thing is that we're kind of just coming up with one aspect of the build at a time. It's almost like charades. In other words, I have a piece and I'm explaining, sounds like this, feels like this, and Victor comes up with what he hopes is a solution. Or versa versa. Victor brings in some stuff and I gotta figure out how to put it together.
Ian, what's going on?
Hey. These occasional visits by Victor is kind of like the shop manager coming in and checking on the employee's progress. I think it's essential that he's here during the whole thing.
Wow, what a difference. That's amazing. You blended in that Lamborghini front end like perfectly.
It's good to see that Victor's happy with the front end. I showed him my idea for the headlights and I could see his wheels are turning. He's kind of liking the idea.
Yeah, no, that's gonna look awesome, man. Look at that. It's gonna give you that like mean look. And what I love about what he did when he contoured the hood in the headlight, it gives you this like round fender, just sleek, like made for speed, supercar speed. This guy nailed it again.
So, as usual, you told me what to do and I did my own thing anyway. So I moved the nose in a little bit shorter.
Yeah, I noticed you took about 6 or 8 inches off. Remember, I wanted this thing to go like this, and then now it just goes like this.
Victor is all about proportion, and he was coming up with these numbers that just didn't jive to me. So most of the time, I just have to do what I see fit at that moment. The great question, what would Ian do? I just ask Ian and do it.
You didn't cut it, did you?
After all that labor and accomplishment, Victor's only got one thing on his mind, and that's like, did you cut the Lamborghini front end apart? Fortunately, I know I didn't have to do that, and the secret's safe with me. It's buried underneath plenty of filler. If you're cool with the way this is progressing, I say we get that lower spoiler in place and figure out what we're gonna do about the grill opening.
Let's do it. Since you adjusted it to fit the wheels, it's wider than the actual piece now. The first thing that bothers me, was definitely these little wings coming out here. I want to cut these little wings off of here and just take it and let the body come straight up to this point.
That's a really nice piece to be cutting up, but we can do whatever. What were you thinking about the grill opening?
Check this out. You know, Super Bowl, right?
Right.
Well, I bought a new TV.
When I explained to Victor that we can incorporate anything into the design of this car, he takes it to heart. And I think he's trying to push the boundaries a bit.
So here's the grill, literally. Check this out. I mean, I seen it and that's where I got it. Check it out. There's the grill right there.
He's walking in the door with a pile of styrofoam. He says he bought a big screen television for the big game on Sunday. And for whatever reason, he's looking at these foam packing parts and it looks like the grill to a supercar to him.
Ian's looking at it like, you know, scratching his head like this dude's out of it.
Starting to get a little bit loose, man. You're throwing everything at this. First the TV, next the kitchen sink.
What do you think?
As Victor's giving me a sales pitch, I'm starting to respond a bit. I mean, yeah, it does have an interesting look. You put them together, it makes like a V shape that could be a grill. You can shape foam really easily. Okay, I think we can work with this. I'm gonna cut 2 6-inch strips and just fold them. This material is kind of thick. It's starting to push the limits on this sheet metal brake, but it's working out. See, that handle's the result of some aggressive use. The main thing here is to make sure all the pieces have the same degree of bend and that they're all fit up symmetrically. 2 bottoms, 2 tops. It isn't really a complicated shape to create, but it's got to look like the foam model, so I'm just using that as a template. I'm literally building the metal panels around this foam structure just so it looks like our model. Even though we're modifying all the parts of this car as we go, what I try to do is make the most refined step towards the end game. So all this metal work, I'm really thinking ahead so that the keeper pieces are really a nice finish. So this is pretty much set up to weld. It'll take a long time to weld this without warping it and then sanding it so it looks seamless. But that's basically the idea. You got these 2 6-inch plates parallel and a nice crown on top. You know, just refined Victor's foam idea a little bit, but there's no waves in it. It'll be perfectly straight. Finishing process on this metal part is just like bodywork. Using these 3M discs just to rough everything out. After I get the surface knocked down, it's just a series of finer grits to bring this thing out to a polish. It's just block sanding, man. I know it's boring. It's not as exciting as the rest of the stuff, but it counts. All right, so that's pretty much the story. So now all you gotta do is figure out how to put it on the car. Last thing is to fit this into the car body. So there's a number of areas I don't want to modify in the Lamborghini nose, so I'm notching this aluminum back. Little by little, it's gotta fit into place. And I want it to look nice in the end, so I'm making templates, making sure the cuts are symmetrical, so it just slips in tight, no big gaps. The whole thing is this face here is going way too far forward. Part of what the remedy might be is to pie cut it. Came up with this idea to pie cut the V just so it fits in a little bit better. I changed around a few things from the original flat concept. You know, joined the center, filled in the whole thing here underneath, welded the underside. In the end, if you want to polish it, that would be the next step, but right now I've maintained that nice defined ridge all the way through. I never built one of these before. It's just knew I could weld, and I had a vision. And there it is. Building a grill bar like this is kind of a shot in the dark. You know, I know I got the skills to do stuff, but it's very rewarding to see it finished and in the car. Look at that thing. It's just what the car needs. A couple things I want to finish up before Victor checks it out. This is quite an improvement. One more element that's going to seal the deal.
Ian, wow, what a difference. That's Words that I can't say on television. This guy made this grill out of aluminum and curved, rounded the edges. He really put a lot of thought in that because the craftsmanship on that grill is just like perfect. That is cool. And actually that finish is pretty cool. What did you put behind it? Is that a screen or what?
It's this weird composite mesh. It's actually about a ½ inch thick, but it flows air perfectly. And you can see, you can't see anything behind it.
It hides the radiators, has the flavor, everything's there. Just, I really can't tell till I see that one line across.
The last step in this front end grill opening is the chin spoiler. You know, the bottom dimension. It's changed a bit because of our design. Put some envisioning tape across the front of the car just to come up with our parameters of the grill opening. I think we're gonna use some of the styling from the Lamborghini part. I'm just gonna make my own from scratch. One of the benefits about working with fiberglass is that you can flesh out an idea pretty quickly. Well, Victor and I decided he didn't want this raised center section, and then he didn't want these upright fins on the side. So you can see what you get in the end. It's almost a perfect match. If he doesn't like it, we'll just do another one. Finishing touches are just to paint it gray, make it look like the rest of the car. You know, that's the neutral tone. Fortunately, this fiberglass nose Victor brought in has holes. It was the same way that the original car was put together. They just bolt up. Done deal. Yeah, so now you really get that look. The whole thing with this design is it needs that bottom. Otherwise, it just looks like a suspension bridge, you know, it's just two legs. That bottom makes the two air vents completely apparent. One of the last things to do will be fitting the outside edges of the chin spoiler to the final contour of the fender. Leave an extra space for now, because you never know, something just might change. Just one step at a time. You know, you're looking at the car through these goggles. That's looking good. That, not so much. There's a whole thing going on. Definitely nailed this grill opening, where there's a whole world of trouble on top of that car. Can't look like a Sterling. Making a lot of progress on this car, but looking at it front row center, we got a huge issue with this roof contour. Some of the concept cars Victor had shown me pictures of had this wraparound windshield detail, and you know, that's what I'm throwing on the table. Right off the bat, I tell Victor I got this idea that the windshield, you know, could look like a motorcycle visor on a helmet. You know, they go up and down, and it looks space age.
So by putting this round window, like you said, like a windshield of a helmet,
right,
that will match this perfectly.
Oh,
Everything's curved, supercar, wrapped around window. The window comes up to get in and out, man,
Sure.
that would be like off the chart. So can you achieve that? Well, I don't even ask. My question is,
when?
When are you gonna do it?
Well, I think first we'll have to make a paper template. Just like the rest of this car so far, we're going to build off of the Sterling body, create something new. Victor and I discussed the possibility of using another vehicle's windshield. I just don't see anything that looks like spaceship stuff, so we're gonna have to build it ourselves. The thing is, if the windshield is just one piece and it opens with the roof, that's super trick. You just don't see that on the street. So that's the thing, this is the pitch of your windshield at this point, so you see it's not a very big visual.
Let's move it back 6 inches, move that line to there.
Scribe right to the
Okay,
seam.
right there. Okay, now we got a lot more pitch. See, there we are. Now that's more. In the core, it's gonna come up.
Just like the rest of the car, the Sterling is now just a template tool. So I'm laying up cardboard on it because I know it's even and symmetrical, and just seeing what kind of curve it'll offer. With this idea of this curved windshield, you know, a flat rooftop just isn't gonna look right. It's gonna look like somebody sawed the top of the car off, so it's gotta all contour together to complement the nose. Like you're saying, and you got your freaking rise.
Yep, we got our little arc there.
So I'm just gonna make an exact template of this window, and we'll flip it over to that side, so this curve that's coming up around the back will then turn around the exact opposite. I love the idea of this mock-up with the cardboard for the one-piece wraparound windshield. It's exactly what I was thinking. Motorcycle helmet visor. I think it's a keeper. Finally, we get rid of the ugliest part of the car, man. Let's just bury that sterling. We bury the rest of it. Just don't dig it up again.
Dude, that was my inspiration.
Well,
The sterling started the whole project,
Oh, yeah.
so that hurts. And the poor sterling, how do you think it feels?
Oh, it's done. I think I sold Victor on this idea. There's nothing to it but to do it. I sold Victor on this concept. All I have to do is accomplish it. So this is the template for the windshield. You know, this cool visor-like wraparound deal. The challenge here is getting this template into a good plastic template. It needs to be like a rainbow. Plan here is to get down with my bad self. I got some acrylic sheet. I'm gonna make a better template that should represent this windshield in its three-dimensional grandeur. The reason I'm using acrylic is because it's very representative of how any material that supports itself will curve. The potential to create a glass piece in the end is totally possible by forming this out with acrylic sheet. Like I was saying with the paper template, this acrylic template still needs to be refined. The main thing I was working with here was this surface and the wraparound to create the new roof. You can see here, all these mismatch in spaces is just the simple second time around on the template. All I have to do is just take a tape border and increase it by that much all the way around. But that's the thing. We had to know what the plastic was gonna do on the roof edge before we could build it. What it is, it's a two-part expanding foam. So sort of like you put your catalyst in the body filler and mix it, that's the same process here. It's 50-50 ratio, one part to one part. I just don't really know how much it expands. Like, will this amount become that amount? I don't know. I like experimenting, bottom line. So if I do 2 of these of A and B, that's a gallon. I think 2 gallons. So that's 4 quarts of that. 2 of those. And now you start mixing. The whole thing is if I pour it on the car like this, fully liquid, it's just gonna go through all the cracks. I don't know, I'm just mixing it up. We'll see what happens. I still got 4 gallons left. It just became twice the volume. Here it comes. Get ready. Whoa. Wow, I didn't realize it was gonna be that fast. Wow, that was fast. Oh, we're gonna need more, totally. It's not stressing the barrier. It's growing just perfect. Uh-oh. We're about to experience a breach. It's still growing. The whole thing is, this is a huge challenge. It's the challenge of a lifetime, you know? Just trying to keep it festive, keep it lively, you know, always thinking of nonsense to get you through the moment. For the little 3-inch rise we needed, I think we've substantially overshot our goal. Shoot for the stars and you just right reach the moon. That gift from grandma, you know, the socks or the slippers, that's what we're doing. We're just, how am I gonna work with this? Time to get medieval on this. Like the great sculptors of yore, starting with a giant block of marble. I will create a masterpiece. Crazy thing is I only need about that much of this giant slab, so it's gonna take a while. It's safe to say I overshot the foam element considerably. This is a lot of work cutting it back. It's pretty dusty. The good thing is I got these big air cooler fans from Portacool, and they are moving the air and keeping things fresh. It's kind of like chiseling through rock at this point. You know, you're just chunking away, getting these big shapes broken off. Got to smooth it out and get a little bit closer. That's what I'm going to use the belt sander for. Just eyeballing it. I know as long as I stay bigger than it needs to be, you know, anything goes.
Wow, you got the sterling out of the sterling.
As I'm getting sort of close, it's perfect timing, Victor gets here. I'm always monitoring his reaction. Looks positive so far. I put foam on the roof and then sculpted that back. So this isn't filler, this is a two-part foam. You mix it up and pour it on the top. You know, him just walking in, I'm trying to explain. You know, he doesn't know where I've been. I'm trying to explain where I'm at. You know, see this angle, this complements that, and he's responding.
You know what? Stand back and look at the side, because it's actually, check this out. I love the way that comes up and then back down. It gives you like, man, that car's going
Fast.
And it's not even moving.
Yeah.
And no more sterling into sterling into sterling.
No.
Now it's just, I don't know, what is it?
Concept, baby. Here, check this out. Now you get the look. That's why I got a solid black, so you kind of get the effect of it having a tinted window. That's the thing about making a model. You don't really understand what it's made of in the end. Pulling this protective coating off, you see a nice glossy surface. It looks like a windshield. That sells it. Yeah, see, now it looks like a windshield because it's got that black reflection, right?
Wow. I mean,
That's cool.
I mean, that's supercar.
Yeah.
Everything I wanted. The round windshield, we got the curve on the top, needs a little bit of adjustment.
Yeah, so the whole thing is now on the other side of the car, it makes the roof look like it's just got a little cap on top. And by lowering that window line, it fits. Everything just flows right into the rear corners.
It's them last little details to make these designs like work.
Really happy with the way this roof concept has come together. There's just one more thing I got to accomplish to wrap this thing up. Finished the bodywork on this roof. I'm really happy with this. It completely negates the look of the Sterling, and it complements the nose perfectly. Victor's call with this line revision for the windshield nailed it. Definitely want to add some flavor to this cowl area of the car. I got a couple ideas. I'm just going to do something, and we'll see how it develops. From the start, you know, Victor's coming up with all these crazy concepts. You know, he wants this or that or the other thing, but he doesn't give much solid direction in the beginning stages. So that's my opportunity for artistic license. In simplest terms, what I've been thinking about is creating like a cowl induction look. On modern cars, air intake is right below the windshield, and I think this would benefit from a styling cue in that vein. What I want is for this windshield angle to be replicated in the vent here. So this comes down, steps up a little, and goes right down. So that's at a line. Take it off. I mean, no mercy here. That's why we're building this model. First things first is to just hack away a large portion of the car that we don't need. What this is doing is twofold. It's shortening the perceived length of the hood, but by sectioning it down, it also makes the car look lower. It makes the windshield dive down. You know, it's aggressive. I mean, that vent shape, that's it. I love that. I just don't know what the client's gonna say. He's a little back and forth on things. I'm into it. This thing took it from this bland kind of hood detail to something representative of a supercar.
Yo, what's up?
What's happening?
What the heck you do to the car now?
Well, we were talking about having a vent, right? Victor, understandably, doesn't know what's going on. You know, I'm working on these aluminum shapes, explaining what's happening. He's just kind of trying to take it in. Well, it needed something. You know, to me, the hood was just looking too long, so I created this vent around the windshield.
And what's this all about here? I don't think I want cardboard here.
He's all questions at this point. You know, I'm trying to describe it. It's like, hold on, let me just put him on a car, show you what's up. So just like with these cardboard templates, you know, I made 5 of them, and we can space them out however you think is appropriate. You know, they're oversized. So, you know, something like this. That way it's like, however we fit it out, you know, they look like they're jutting out of the vent, you know, aerodynamic. What do you think?
Yeah, I really like that. That's like, it gives it another dimension. Look at now the
Little
car's
jewelry,
like
yeah.
flying without flying. I didn't want a spaceship. I just want a supercar.
You gotta know I'm in the spaceship business, man. At this point, it's simply trim and fit. You know, we're gonna make the taper on this double-sided instead of like the bullnose flat front, and it's very minimal. Same look, just a refined concept.
Yeah, what a difference too. And by doing that, the air comes in through the, you know, the front of the grill out to the roof and over. It's like I could see this in a wind tunnel.
All these refinements look really cool. Victor's totally on board with it, you know. Everything's really coming together. The big issue is there's a huge hole in the side of the car. There's nothing there. What's coming up could be the biggest challenge yet.